Did you miss me? On July 5th, 2026, one of the world's most beloved isekai ever made is back. With around 12 awards received for its outstanding art and storytelling, yes, we are hyped for the return of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Right? Alright, okay. You either love or hate this anime. And by anime, I mean the main protagonist. A solid chunk of the anime community cannot stand this man, Rudius. But I love this anime, and I will die on this hill. Mushoku Tensei consistently gets brought up as one of the best entries the isekai genre has ever produced. Part of why it stands out is it doesn't play the isekai game the normal way. While he's still kind of an overpowered protagonist, he doesn't really coast through life. Sure, he has cheat skills, but there are consequences to his actions. Rudius actually has to work and actually messes up. Like, a lot, and in fucked up, like, pedophile, pervert ways a lot of the time that we're not gonna get into. But he has to live day to day with the weight of who he was in his old life while trying to become someone better in this one. It's slower, it's heavier, and it earns its emotional moments instead of throwing fan service at you and calling it character development. Mainly because the characters have been children for the first 2 seasons, so they literally can't do fan service because, you know, illegal. So love him or hate him, Rudius is back on July 5th. That said, let's get caught up on the first 2 seasons and discuss what's been confirmed for the new season. We start with our main character, a 34-year-old shut-in who is jerking off during his parents' funeral. Yikes. He gets kicked out for this egregious behavior, and while aimlessly walking into the rain-filled night, he gets hit by the multiversal level threat that is Truck-kun. Truck-kun was actually aiming for some high school kids, but he dived in to save them. He gets reincarnated as a baby in a completely different world. Now, normally that's where the isekai cheat code nonsense kicks in, but instead Rudius just has all his memories and his adult knowledge from a world that isn't relevant to this one. As he gets older, he discovers that this world has magic and swords and whatnot, so he takes this opportunity to build his magic portfolio. His parents hire Roxy, a mage tutor. She ends up shaping him into a slightly better human being, even though after she left, he stole her panties. But hey, it's out of respect, alright? Around this time, he also meets Sylphie, a shy, quiet girl who becomes his first real friend his own age. Which matters a lot because in his first life, he didn't really have those. Later on, Rudius gets a job working as a mage tutor for his second cousin, Eris, who is also royalty. He spends multiple years in the kingdom teaching her and getting closer with those who live in the kingdom. As the years pass by, a strange-looking orb appears in the sky. But no one really cares because, look, they have sexy peace ladies. I want this one. Mommy! The first third of season 1 builds toward the mass teleportation incident, or mana disaster. A sudden violent turning point that teleports everyone from Rudius' village, the kingdom, and any surrounding areas, separating them and flinging them all over the world. From there, Rudius and Eris wake up in the demon continent and end up stuck with a supered named Ruijerd. I don't really know if that's how you pronounce it. I watched the sub, so. In this world, superds are basically the boogeymen, but this one is nice because he likes kids. Not like that. With the help of the goat Ruijerd, Rudius and Eris start on a 3-year journey to get back home. And somewhere between the monster fights and the one time Rudius gets clapped by a literal god, their relationship goes from traveling companions to something more. Wait, aren't they related? They finally get back to the kingdom, or what's left of it. Season 1 ends on Rudius losing his virginity to Eris, but his stroke game was weak, so she just kinda leaves him. Season 2 kicks off with Rudius wandering the frozen north alone. He's trying to make a name for himself so word might reach his missing mother. Very noble, very tragic. Does not stop him from trying to get laid. He vibes with this party he sometimes does jobs with so he can earn some money, and things get romantic with this girl, Sarah. Unfortunately, Rudius discovers he's dealing with some very real performance issues, courtesy of the emotional damage Eris left behind in Season 1. Because things are awkward now, Rudius joins a different party that he travels with for some time. Later on, Rudius runs into someone named Eline Elise, an elf who used to be in the same traveling party as his dad, who asked her for help on finding missing family members. Rudius joins up with her to look for his missing mom. While traveling together, he receives an invite to Ranoa Magic Academy. He's been wanting to improve his magic skills, but he wants to keep looking for his mom, so he decides to sleep on it. While asleep, the man god appears in his dream and tells him that he should low-key accept that invitation and he'll be able to fix his erectile dysfunction there. By the way, the man god is someone who appears throughout the series and gives Rudius little tips and tricks like a Santa's zesty little helper. So, Rudius pulls up to the academy instead of searching for his missing mother. There, he meets Princess Ariel and her guards. One of them is named Luke, and the other is a quiet, mysterious bodyguard going by the name Silent Fitz, who, plot twist, is his childhood friend Sylphie with white hair and in disguise as a dude. The magic prodigy and genius Rudius, who's lived 2 lifetimes worth of experience, doesn't realize this, which is funny because he starts falling in love with someone who he thinks is a dude. Their friendship slowly rebuilds from there. Little library run-ins, advice between the two, goofing around, and wait, why does my wiener start getting hard around this guy? And it all builds to a genuinely heartfelt reveal later in the season once Sylphie's identity finally comes out. Anyway, they start fucking and hooray! His ED has been cured. Rudius is so thankful that he marries Sylphie, and thus they continue their happy lives. Meanwhile, Paul, Rudius' dad, finally tracks down where Zenith, Rudius' mom, has been trapped for the past 6 years, frozen in a magic crystal, deep in a teleportation labyrinth. Paul sends a letter asking for help to rescue Zenith, and Rudius starts on a journey with Eline Elise to meet up with his father's group. They reach town, and Rudius heard that his teacher Roxy would be with them, so he was expecting to see her there, but apparently she got trapped in the labyrinth. They ready up and everyone heads into the dungeon. While they're in there, Rudius manages to find and save Roxy from certain doom. And whoa, they head back and plan for a deeper dive thanks to Rudius luckily bringing a book that details everything about the labyrinth. They journey to the final room where Zenith is. Unfortunately, she's guarded by a Hydra. They take a second to come up with a plan on how to deal with it and save Zenith. Sever the heads, cauterize the stumps so it can't regenerate, and take good old mama home and call it a day. And then, right at the very end, the Hydra gets one last swing in. Paul shoves Rudius out of the way and eats the hit himself. He dies. He got the Gojo treatment. And his death was just as unfair too. This happened when the fight was already pretty much over. That's the part that sucks. It wasn't a heroic last stand mid-battle, but oh, yes, we did it. And then that moment just gets ripped away from them. They free Zenith from the crystal, but she's fucking brain dead because she's been sealed in a crystal for like 6 years. Like that one shirt you never wear that just sits in the back of your drawer. So the entire journey, the sacrifice, the years of searching, ends with Daddy dead and Mommy a geriatric. Safe to say Rudius isn't feeling all that great. Luckily, Roxy is here to save the day by never mind the fact that Rudy is married and has a baby on the way. Everyone journeys back home. They break the news of what went down. And then, because this show has never once let you sit in your feelings for more than like 5 minutes without adding a plot twist, Rudius breaks some more news and tells his pregnant wife Sylphie that he wants to take Roxy as his second wife. His sister's not having it.
Are you fucking dumb?
And in a genuinely wild twist, Sylphie's basically like, yeah, I saw this coming, so like, it's alright type shit. And the season ends with her giving birth to their child, Lucy. Quick status check before we get into the new stuff. Rudius' household situation is To put it lightly, complicated. He's got 2 wives, a lobotomized mom, his sister, his dad's second wife, his stepsister, and his baby all under one roof. It's been a lot of moving parts, but the show does a good job of tying together all the storylines. Eris is still out there somewhere, having gone her own way after the events of Season 1, which is exactly what Season 3 is here for. Everything I'm about to say is coming straight from official trailers, official announcements, interviews, etc. No light novel spoilers here because I haven't read them, and I'd like to keep it that way until the show catches up to me instead of the other way around. Season 3 premieres on July 5th, 2026 with a 2-episode debut, and then weekly episodes after that. It's simulcasting on Crunchyroll, subtitled first with the dub following afterward. Season 3 is scheduled for a 27 episodes split into 2 parts. The first 2 seasons were also split into 2 parts, but I didn't mention that earlier. Season 3 is split into Core 1, which will have 14 episodes, and Core 2, which will have the remaining 13. We'll start by covering Eris's training arc in the Holy Land of Swords. The trailers have confirmed at least 2 new figures showing up this season. One named Perugius Dola, and another named I don't know how to fucking say this. Atofaratofi. Damn, I nailed that shit. Hold on. Atofaratofi Ryback, who both look like they're going to be major players this time around. We're also getting Eris's training crew fleshed out, with Nina Farion. Bro, these names are whimsical as fuck. Nina Farion and Isol T. Cruel shown alongside her in the Holy Land of Swords footage. And the season's confirmed to include the everyday life stretch of the story too. So expect at least some breathing room amidst whatever chaos is coming. Beyond that, we're also getting foreshadowing of a confrontation with Orsted, the guy that clapped Rudius, Eris, and Ruijerd because of something to do with the man god. Whatever's brewing there, it looks like it's finally coming to a head. And Eris herself is confirmed to be returning with a power-up, so if you were hoping she'd come back the same girl who left, raise your expectations. I've been burned by hype before. These days you watch a sequel and you either go on about your day or take a giant shit on it. With Re:Zero, luckily the hype matched the quality, but most Re:Zero fans expected to enjoy it regardless. I think it's because Mushoku Tensei is kind of infamous that I haven't really heard many things about it. There isn't really hype around Season 3 because half of the anime community chalks the show up to a pedophile isekai main character. But everything about how this show has built itself so far, the patience, the willingness to let consequences actually stick, the way it treats its characters like real people instead of tropes, it gives me a genuinely good feeling about where Season 3 is headed. I'm also looking forward to that bomb-ass animation, bro. They got some good fucking animators on that team. If you've got predictions for Season 3, drop them in the comments. Just please, for the sake of everyone who hasn't read the source material, keep it spoiler-free down there. I will absolutely make another video once the full season has finished airing. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Watch my other videos.